All right, so hello everyone. My name is Ken Lacey. I'm the AP Human Geography teacher this year. I got a master's at the University of Hawaii. I finished my PhD in linguistic anthropology at New York University, and I've been a teacher since 1999. Linguistic anthropology is just a fancy way of saying I studied how human beings tell stories. Sociology, a little bit of psychology, a little bit of linguistics, a little bit of theology. It's all sort of wrapped in there, which is sort of the perfect preparation for teaching a class in human geography, which is a little bit of sociology, a little bit of anthropology, some statistics, some theology, some cultural studies, all wrapped together, plus a little agriculture, which which I learned on my own from all of my grandparents, and not so much in the college. Um, as a college professor, before I got into teaching high school, I taught at a number of different colleges. This list looks fairly impressive, unless you know what the life of a college professor is like. You just sort of wander around from school to school to school until one of them offers you a full-time job. And so I've taught at Rutgers, I've taught at NYU, the College of William and Mary, Hunter College at CUNY, a couple other places. And eventually I realized that the college professor life was not for me. It requires going to a lot of conferences, a lot of airplane travel, particularly if you don't live near any of the major cities. And I got some wonderful offers from Idaho and Arkansas. And as beautiful as Idaho and Arkansas are, and as much as I would not mind living in those places, I realized that I would not be doing as much teaching as I wanted, and I would be doing an enormous amount of travel, especially by airplane, in order to get to all the conferences and all the professional meetings that I was expected to go to. Unfortunately, around then, my wife reminded me that there is a career where you can do a lot of teaching and not have to travel extensively by plane. So that's when I got into public teaching, especially teaching high school. At the time, we were living in North Carolina, so I got a job at historic James B. Dudley High School in Greensboro, North Carolina. And I just taught U.S. history there. I taught world history there. I taught a little bit of sociology. It was great. It was a great time. And I probably would have stayed, except after a couple of years, my wife got a new job in New York. So that's when we moved back. And I think the only thing I asked was that we not actually live in New York City, because New York City is a bit too much city for me. So we ended up in New Jersey, and I eventually found a job here at Rutherford, and I've been here for about 7 or 8 years now. And I really enjoy it. It's an honor and a privilege to be here, and I'm looking forward to working with your students this year. Now, the AP Human Geography class is really an extremely broad social sciences class. It really should be called AP Sociology or AP Anthropology, but for various university politics reasons, neither the sociology departments at U.S. universities nor the anthro departments wanted to sponsor an AP class. So the geography departments did, and that's why it's called AP Human Geography. But it covers pretty much everything you can imagine in social sciences, right? Including agricultural science, all the way up to urban science and planning. You've got cultural studies, you've got political studies, yeah, you've got, of course, maps and the geography part of it. You've got migration. It covers more or less everything. It's an extremely broad survey class in the social sciences. And we're going to cover a lot of material, and we're going to cover a lot of theories and a lot of concepts and a lot of historical examples as well. The class really asks students to learn a lot of different scientific theories and then apply them to various real-world concrete examples. So you're going to see your students doing a fair bit of small research projects involving countries and U.S. states that they've been assigned, finding ways to apply the various knowledge they have. And we'll also be talking about major historical examples of various sorts of things, like, for example, migration, using examples from World War II or South Asia. We're going to be talking about concepts of political geography over the globe. Like, for example, the Western nations, which are more the northern nations, plus South Africa and Australia, versus the third world nations, which are the ones that are sort of in the global south, except for South Africa and Australia and New Zealand. And all of these various things are going to combine throughout the year. There is a lot of vocabulary for the class. Unfortunately, there's not a lot. There's not an easy way to get around this because it is a class designed to teach students about various scientific theories, and scientists love their jargon. So they'll be learning a lot of different scientific jargon, and they'll be learning a lot of scientific theories as well, theories that are broadly used in many different disciplines in academia. And they're going to be asked to sort of put these together, organize them, and be able to recall them and apply them in various ways. We'll be doing a lot of vocabulary quizzes. We'll be doing a lot of sort of applied exams and applied quizzes where they get to practice these skills. And the test in May is really sort of a culmination of that, remembering all these different theories, remembering these different sort of applications, and then giving some very detailed analyses of historical or hypothetical constructs that they are given. The class itself has a textbook, but students are not required to bring the textbook to class. They're encouraged to just leave it at home and use it at home. There's also a study guide. The study guide is a printed book that is theirs to keep. They can do whatever they like with it. They can highlight in it. They can tear passages out of it. They can scribble all over it. They can even burn it in the backyard if they, safely if they'd like to do so. And all of between the textbook and the study guide and the various assignments that they're given in class, they're going to have an opportunity to sort of learn the material in multiple different ways and different modalities, and hopefully retain a lot of it, as much of it as possible. I'll make sure that all assignments are posted on Google Classroom and posted unit by unit, so that they'll have all the deadlines weeks in advance if necessary, so they can really plan around these different assignments and different deadlines. And they're encouraged to handwrite everything, but because the test in May, assuming it goes as planned, is a handwritten exam, and you want a lot of practice handwriting if you haven't done it for most of your life. But I'm also happy to take any sort of electronic submissions that they want to give me. I encourage handwritten assignments, but I understand that not everyone has the time or the energy or the desire to do that. There won't be any pop tests or pop quizzes, no surprises. Everything is going to be planned out in advance. Everyone and your students will know in advance when all of these different quizzes and assessments will take place. I am fairly strict about deadlines for assignments. If an assignment is late, then there's a fairly simple 20% penalty to any assignment that's late. But I also have a fairly generous makeup policy. So students are welcome to make up any assignment, any quiz, any assessment or test or project they want, and they'll get partial credit back for doing so. Because I want to encourage students to see every assessment, every test, every assignment as a learning opportunity. Right? If they got something wrong, they can learn from that mistake and become a better student, and I want to give them credit and incentives to do that. I will always respond by email. Students are welcome to email me. You as parents are welcome to email me as well. I'll respond as soon as possible, usually within 24 hours if it's not the weekend. And I'll keep all grades updated and up to date on PowerSchool and Parent Portal, so you can see, track their progress, see if there are missing assignments, if there are any late assignments, and see what assignments that they've been doing to that point. Office hours are by request. They're held after school, but if students want to set up a Zoom meeting, I'm happy to do that and go over any material or constructs or theories that they're struggling with, helping them work through the applications or assignments. All they have to do is email me to set up a Zoom appointment, and we'll discuss whatever's on their mind at some time that works for them, and assuming I don't have another meeting at that time. And again, I'm always happy to discuss anything, thoughts, questions, concerns you might have. Just email me. I'll be delighted to write back and answer whatever questions you might have. This is definitely going to be an interesting year, but I hope it's going to turn out to be a good one, and I look forward to working with your students.